In this video, I'm going to show you a glimpse of All India Food Processor Association's 75th Platinum Jubilee Conference, which was inaugurated by the Honorable President of India and Shrimati Harsimrat Kaur Badal. Today is All India Food Processor Association's 75th Platinum Jubilee, and really excited, really pumped up to be here. Right now I'm in the plenary hall and the President is going to arrive in a few minutes, and this is a really exciting moment for me and some of my batchmates who are sitting alongside with me, and some of my juniors are sitting over there, and this is really exciting. And the President is going to arrive at 11, and right now, if you can see in my watch, this is 10:40.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable President of India, Shri Kovind, I request you to please rise and please remain standing for the national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, today happens to be a very historic day, a very momentous and a celebratory occasion for the All India Food Processors Association as we celebrate the 75 glorious years of the association. An association which was established way back in the year 1943, even before our independence, and at a time when the World War II was on, and at a time when we were just in the middle of our freedom struggle. Even that time, the founding members had that vision, that Durdarshita, that forethought. And that legacy continues as the torchbearers today, all the more committed towards shaping a more glorious future.
Honorable President of India, Shri Nath, President of the All India Food Processing Industries, Dr. Jindal, Mr. Sanjeev Puri, Secretary Sir, pioneers of the industry, many of the big stalwarts and captains present here, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to you, and many, many congratulations to this industry on their 75th Platinum Jubilee Conference today. It's not just an honor, but I would say that it's a moment of celebration not just for the industry, but maybe for me personally. I think I was just being told before the Honorable President arrived that I owe this ministry coming into existence to the leaders of this industry who in 1988 asked the Prime Minister, then Prime Minister, to give them a ministry which would take care of their needs. So it took many, many years, but it took Prime Minister Modi to ensure a full-time minister was dedicated just to the food processing sector, and I think to this industry, and I think that goes to show the potential that this industry has. So truly an honor to be here to celebrate 75 years. Even before the country became free, we had this industry which was already contributing towards nation building.
Union Minister, Food Processing Industries, Srimati Harsimrat Kaur Badal, President, All India Food Processors Association, Dr. Jindal, other dignitaries on the dais, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. I am glad to be here to inaugurate the Platinum Jubilee Conference of the All India Food Processors Association. My heartiest congratulations to all of you on this occasion. This association is the apex body dedicated to the growth and development of the food industry in the country. Its very origins point to a visionary and pioneering spirit. In 1943, when the association was founded, India was not yet independent. Those were turbulent times of colonialism, war, and food shortages.
Dr. Jindal delivered a talk in which he elaborated on a few points, such as that India is on top of the world in terms of producing the milk, and it's really in the top 3 positions of producing the cereals, milk, meat, exporting, and a lot of food processing. He also talked about that the primary purpose and the primary challenge for the food processors is to add value to the fresh produce. And he also told that there is a large coastline that is not properly managed yet, and that can be managed and that has to be managed. And he also talked about the expert minds who are going to brainstorm and evolve solutions for the current problems. Mr. R.S. Sodhi from Amul talked about the concept of thali that has been prevalent for the last 50 to 60 years. He also talked about that India is the largest producer of milk, and since he is from the dairy industry, he talked a lot about the dairy and the milk products. He also talked about the consumer preference, and one should always develop products according to the consumer preference. Lastly, he delivered a very provoking thought: to earn more, you have to give more. Dr. Anand Ramakrishnan, the director of AIFPA, delivered a very scientific based talk. He talked about that the millet production is going down, and that is why they have incorporated millets in the ice cream. He also talked about value addition of the jackfruit. He talked about the growth of nutraceuticals, the functional foods. He also talked about the introduction of the 3D printed foods in the school. He also talked about the replacers of the sugar and salt, and I really appreciate that the effort AIFPA is putting towards contributing towards tackling some real issues, some real problems. Mr. Pradipta Kumar Sahu, the business head of Mother Dairy and Safal Private Limited, also talked about a lot of things. He talked about Jagannath culture. He talked about that the two most exported things from India are yoga and Ayurveda, apart from the food. He also talked about the Chappan Bhog that is based on the Jagannath culture. He talked about eradication of hunger, and that the eradication of hunger needs to be tackled, and that should be the primary purpose. Mr. Santosh Kumar Sarangi, IAS and Joint Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industries, told that 4% of the land is constituted by India among the world, and 17% of the livestock is constituted by the India among the world. And he also talked about a shocking statistic, that is, rice wastage in SCI go down is equal to the rice production in Australia. Now that was really shocking for the audience members. He also talked about the recent agriculture export policy that has been developed, and it is the first ever export policy that is recently passed.
Alright, this is the second day of the conference, the celebration of AIFPA's 75 years, and really excited to go over there. And right now we will be having a discussion with the CEO of FSSAI. He will be delivering a talk. There will be some eminent personalities like the president of AIFPA, Dr. Hon'ble. I will try to talk to him and engage with him in a talk. So let's just go into there and see what is there for us and for you.
On the second day of AIFPA's conference, the CEO of FSSAI, Dr. Pawan Kumar Agarwal, delivered a very elaborative talk on FSSAI and FOSTAC. He addressed the challenges that need to be undertaken in an innovative way. He talked about the development of labs, and he also talked about a new avatar of FSSAI that is going to be consumer oriented, and he termed that avatar as FSSAI 2.0. He also talked about creating a culture of self-restraint in the restaurant staff. He talked about that there is a current need to address the issues of labeling, and there is a need to develop standard operating procedures and to build a network of partnerships.
Friends, Sir has mentioned many initiatives. One point Sir has actually not added, because there are 17 initiatives. He has spelled out 7. I think, Sir, there are many initiatives, startup ecosystem which we have started. The school children, through the CSR, we have touched to 2 million kids, and through the pink book, yellow book, I think now they are aware about the food safety. They are the ambassadors of the future of India. Padma Shri V. Prakash Sir is here, and recently AIFPA, he has said that 4 billion meal, how it will be a confident to eat. So I think that is a promise of food safety, and that is the responsibility of everybody. Now we'll move to the next part, but we really want to thanks to Pawanji. With little bit of liberty of Dr. Nawaz Deobandi, he has given a very good share. I will narrate for Pawanji आपके लिए. सफर में मुश्किल आए तो जरूरत और बढ़ती है. सफर में मुश्किल आए तो जरूरत और बढ़ती है. जब कोई रास्ता रोके तो हिम्मत और बढ़ती है. बुझाने को हवा के साथ अगर बारिश भी आ जाए, बुझाने को हवा के साथ बारिश भी आ जाए, चरागे बे हकीकत की हकीकत और बढ़ती है। अरे तालियां जोर से। फूड सेफ्टी ये शेयर्ड रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है। पवन जी आप ऐसे ही लीड करो, पूरी फूड इंडस्ट्री आपके साथ है। थैंक यू सर। नाउ we'll move to the next panelist, and we have a very dynamic, and Pavan ji has taken his name 3 times, and that showed his dynamism. Dr. Hemant Khoshia ji. He is the FDA Commissioner of Gujarat, and Gujarat is everywhere today. And yesterday only they have listed out the startup environment. Gujarat is again rated number 1. Only 4 lines about Khoshia sir. From last 9 years under his able leadership at the FDC Gujarat, he is actually leading the Gujarat team for the food and drug, and including the food, many initiatives. One of the initiatives is closing the PFA cases. 3,622 cases he has closed in last 6 months. I think that is an amazing work. Let me tell you, the PFA is the criminal offense. One case costs you 25 lakhs rupees in his lifetime. Not only cost to the industry, but also cost to the government. And with his network, with support of FSSI, I think he could do it with his team. So without taking much time, I request Khoshia ji, you have all 600 seconds. Thank you.
Dr. H.G. Khoshia, Commissioner of Food Safety from Gujarat, talked about creating a conducive regulatory environment. He delivered a very small talk, yet a very efficient talk. Dr. S.K. Saxena, Director of Export Inspection Council of India, talked about trade and export. He said that his work is even more difficult than the regulatory's work because he has to keep in mind the different requirements of the different countries. And it is really difficult to make a product, to make different products according to different demands. For example, Russia has different demand, and Britain has a different demand, America has a different demand. And he talked about the recent policies that have been passed and recent advancements that have been regulated under the EIC. Mr. Amit Dhanuka, the former president of AIFPA and CEO of Kejriwal Bee Care Private Limited, talked about the new laws and the export of the food products. He also laid a great emphasis on the farmers and beekeepers. He talked about the discussion will not be giving any result if we don't bring in the farmers with us. And last but not the least, I finally got to meet and talk to none other than the president of AFSTI, Dr. Prabodh Halde sir, and the head of Global Regulatory Marico Limited. He was impressed of my videos and appreciated the work I have been doing. Just wanted to say a big thanks again to him for his kind motivation and appreciation. So this was it for today. Let me know down in the comments if you found this short montage, short glimpse of AIFPA's 75th conference helpful, and give it a thumbs up definitely, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you once again for watching this complete video.